Good morning, fourth graders. Hopefully you have everything out that you need for language class today. You do have a test tomorrow, so the work we're going to be doing today is a lot of what you're going to see on that test tomorrow, as well as what you would be doing for homework tonight. So we need to make sure that we are properly prepared for that. Now, what I would like you to do here is on your whiteboard, I am going to, sorry, I'm not sure why it was fast forwarding on me. I am going to give a number to some of these different sentences, the words in the sentences, and we are going to determine what kind of word it is, what part of speech it is. So I'm going to number them, and you're going to tell me what part of speech they are. So on your whiteboard, tell me what these parts of speech, what words these parts of speech are. And I'll give you a moment to do that. Number one would be an adjective. Number two, adjective. Number three, subject. Number four, preposition. Number five, object of the preposition. Number six, proper noun. All right, we're going to go on to another sentence. And again, I'm going to number what I would like for you to identify. All right, so identify those 7 parts of speech. All right, number 1 would be a preposition. Number 2 would be the subject. Number 3 would be an adverb. Number 4 is action verb. Number 5 is preposition. Number 6 is adjective. Number 7 is object of the preposition. That is how you would have identified those words. Now we're going to take a moment and we're going to talk about identifying these colored words as either prepositions or as adverbs. Remember, adverbs describe verbs and can tell us when the verb is occurring or how it's occurring. But sometimes adverbs are also words that we use as prepositions. So we have to make sure that we are identifying the correct part of speech. Okay, the correct part of speech. So we have a sentence. Lucy is coming over after school. I want you on your whiteboard to write what you believe the prepositional phrase is in the sentence. Now I'm going to tell you that in most cases, there are never two prepositions in the same prepositional phrase or sentence. So there can be two prepositions in a sentence, but not two prepositions in the same prepositional phrase. So after school today would be the prepositional phrase, and that would make after the preposition. Now, what does that make over? That makes over the adverb. Lucy is coming where? She's coming over. So over would be the adjective. All right, let's go on to number 2. Set that bowl down on the counter. Go ahead and write the word you believe is the preposition and write the word you believe is the adverb. So again, we're not going to have two prepositions in the same prepositional phrase. So on the counter would be the prepositional phrase making on the preposition. Set that bowl down. We know that set is our verb. Set it where? Set it down, making down the adverb. Down becomes the adverb, answering where we set it. The kitten is under the chair. Now we have kitten is, so we have a linking verb. But is there any word describing is? No, so we only have a prepositional phrase making under the preposition. I have met Jordan before. Now this one should be really easy because if we have a preposition, we have to have a what? A prepositional phrase. And we do not have a prepositional phrase. We have only the word before, which means that before is a adverb. When have I met Jordan? I have met Jordan before. So the two really important things to remember are you cannot have two prepositions in the same prepositional phrase, and you cannot have a preposition without a prepositional phrase. Okay, so hopefully we'll be able to identify the difference between the preposition and the adverb. All right, I need you to go ahead and turn in your workbooks to page 161. Page 161. Now we have quite a bit of work to do in order to review for tomorrow's test, but I want to review for this test in a way that everyone should feel prepared and be able to do this work. So we're going to start by drawing parentheses around each prepositional phrase. Again, the easiest way for you to be able to do that is to make sure that you know your prepositions. And then we're going to circle the object of the preposition and mark the sentence. So we have 2 instructions, but 3 things that we need to do. The city of Bellingham is a good vacation spot. Class, what is the prepositional phrase? Of Bellingham. Very good. What is the object of the preposition? Bellingham, because the object of the preposition is always the last word. So, what is my subject? My subject is city. So I draw my line. City was. City is. Now we're going to go on to do these next 5 on your own. And then I'm going to have 3 students come and each student do one part of the exercise. So we're going to begin in the back with Ashton. So we would do Ashton, Sammy, and Melvin for number 2. Giovanni, Mario, and Leilani for 3. Olivia, Alexa, and JL for 4. Bella, Sammy, and Amelia for number 5. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so let's begin to talk about what this should be. Bellingham is in Washington State, below the border between the United States and Canada. Our prepositional phrase should have been in Washington. The prepositional phrase should have been in Washington State and then between the United States and Canada. So state would be circled, and United States and Canada would both be circled. And then our verb would be is. What is? Bellingham is. Bellingham is. And we have another prepositional phrase, below the border. And border would be circled. So we had 3 prepositional phrases. For sentence number 2, or number 3, excuse me, we have on one of many hiking trails. And trails would be our object of the preposition. One would be the object of the preposition. What is my verb? Can enjoy. Who can enjoy? Visitors can enjoy. For sentence number 4, we have the prepositional phrase at Samish Lake of surrounding mountains. And then, of course, lake and mountains would be are objects of the preposition. Our subjects is tourist, and tourist what? Tourist spend would be the verb, and they also enjoy. Okay, and now for the last one. In the summer are usually mild and pleasant, but the temperatures in winter are cold enough for snow. So summer is our object of the preposition. Winter is object of the preposition. We have for snow, which would be object of the preposition. Okay, and then we have temperatures. Temperatures are. Temperatures are. And so that is what we should have and been able to figure out. Section B, go ahead and write the kind of sentence using the interjection. Declarative means that we're using an interjection but not with much feeling. And then exclamatory would obviously be a lot of feeling. So go ahead and write the sentences that would match whether it's declarative or exclamatory. Now you all know that I love diagramming. So we're going to try to do this diagramming on the video and see how it turns out. So we're going to work that in a moment. Oh, there it is. Not quite sure why it jumped pages on me. Hold on. There we are, back on the right page, and hopefully with writing. All right, there we go. Draw parentheses around each prepositional phrase. So do that in your book right now as I do it on the board. We should have at summer camp. Now, it says to mark the sentence for diagramming. That means that everything in the sentence that can be marked needs to be. So let's do this together. We have subjects. Actually, let's find our verb first. What is the verb? Like. Who likes? Chloe and Audrey like. So we have our subject and our verb. So we have subject. And what kind of verb do we have? We have an action verb. Chloe and Audrey like what? Like water slides. So what does that make water slides? A direct object. And what is the? An adjective describing water slide. Now it says diagram each word except the prepositional phrase. So leave the prepositional phrase alone. Okay, so now we're going to diagram. So we know we only have one subject, one verb, and a direct object. So we know we draw a line to divide subject verb, and we draw a straight line, a direct line, to show the difference between a direct object and a predicate nominative. Now I'm not going to write all the words out here, but we should have a compound house right here. We should have a compound house because we have a compound sentence. So we have Chloe, Audrey, and then here we would have the word and. And then we have, sorry, that's a really bad sideways A. We have like, and we have water slide, and then we should have the that is describing water slide. So it's definitely not the prettiest diagram that I've done. However, it does show you we had a compound verb and we had a compound, we had a compound, and I don't know what causes this to blow up, but I think it's just for the fun of it so that we have to just have something to laugh at. But we had a compound subject, action verb, and a direct object. So now let's look at Jared climbed the tall tower and rode the zip line. So now I want you to diagram that sentence after you've done all of the marking. We'll do that together first. I want you to do this sentence. Now, is there a prepositional phrase? Nope, no prepositional phrase. So we're going to find our verb. What did climbed? Rode. Very good. Climbed, rode. Who climbed? Jared climbed. So we have subject, verb, and we have a compound verb. Now, he climbed what? He climbed the tower. What does that make tower? Because we have an action verb. Let's make sure we make it an action verb. He climbed the tower. That makes it a direct object. Rode is what kind of verb? Rode is an action verb. And he rode what? Zip line. What does the describe? The describes tower. What does tall describe? Tower. And what does the describe? Zip line. So now, what would this look like as a diagram? I want you to go ahead and make your diagram. All right, so now let's see what we would have had, what our diagram should have looked like. We should have had subject, line, then we should have had a compound house because we had two verbs. And then we should have had two lines for direct objects. And here we would have had Jared climbed what? He climbed the tower. So under here, we would have had two adjectives, the and tall. Here we would have had the verb rode. Rode what? Rode zip line. And then the adjective the for zip line. Okay,